Hi everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining us once again today, Saturday, the 21st of October. Good to have you here. I hope our week was great. I hope we all had a fulfilling week. Thank you for joining us once again here on Wondiva Global Community Instagram live conversation. So while I wait for my co-host to join me, Bumi and Mora. Today we'll be talking about signs to look out for before you employ a help in your home. So this is a very interesting topic because a lot of people do not understand how important it is to do some findings before you get someone to work with you in your home. So that's why we took our time, those of us who have had series of helps, and we think that this is a topic that should be looked into, especially when you're starting a family, or probably you just had a baby and now you basically cannot do all the work in your house. So you need a help. And um the first thing I would say about the first thing to do before you employ someone to work with you as a help is go through an agency, which is probably someone, someone who has had a help from an agency, not just check on social media. I think this is the main thing that some people do, that they have no idea, going online to just search for a company without getting any referral from probably a trusted friend, a relation, someone who has an idea about such a company. And what's so important in getting a trusted agency is because you definitely have someone to speak with. Peradventure, anything goes wrong. So the first thing to do when you have when you want to look for help is to go through a trusted agency, probably a referral. I'm repeating myself because this is what a lot of people skip when they are trying to get a help. They basically don't understand that you need to go through someone or a company who has actually been involved in this kind of you know obviously it's a business, and then you don't just want to bring anyhow kind of person to your house. We know that there could be issues. For example, there could be a company that employs someone who is actually not genuine, but the fact that you have that, you are able to get the referral, someone who can vouch for the person. Probably they've also done background check. Background checks are so important when it has to do with employing someone in your house. I will just take a minute, please. Let me try to get my co-host in. I don't know what exactly is going on. Okay. Sorry. I just got in. I don't know why I'm not able to to get my co-host to join the live. I think she would need to actually send me a request instead, since it's not working. Thank you for joining in. And so we were talking about signs to look out for before you employ a help in your home. So like I said, the first thing to do when you would want to employ a help, the first thing to do is to ensure that there's a background check. Where has this person been? Who has he lived with? Why did he live where he lives? These are the important questions that we need to ask. Either you're asking the agency who is bringing the person, or you're asking the person. Well, this is it. Some people could also lie. And we as Christians, we as believers who trust in the Lord for everything, would also pray, prayerfully employ that person. And peradventure, this person isn't good enough, this person isn't genuine, this person will definitely expose that person. Yes. So these are the first things, like you said. We've said the first thing to do. Your background check is there. You need to get information about where that person has worked before. You need to get information about why they left the last place they worked with. And peradventure they haven't worked with anybody. You also have to be on the lookout to know if that person is fine. Now, the next thing to do when you want to employ help in your home is test. You must go for some specific tests. Now, I'll list the ones I do. Well, before I used to do pregnancy tests, but I stopped. But the most important ones, because you don't want to have someone who is living with you that is not medically sound, is hepatitis B, because it's transmittable. Somebody can catch hepatitis B by sharing spoon with the person who has the disease. So you must run a test for hepatitis B. You must run a test for HIV. It is dearly important. It is very dire to have this test, because you don't want to be living with someone who would, probably infect your family members with any of these diseases. I used to do tuberculosis test before, but I stopped anyway, because I found out that it might not be extremely important, because I've been trying to accept. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the network today. Finally.
Good evening.
I'm like, I don't know what's really going on. I've been trying and doing everything to add you. It says invite, then it shows something else. Anyway, you're welcome, Maura. And I had gone like a bit into the discussion.
Yeah, I've been following.
You know what we're talking about today? Signs to look out for before you employ help in your home. And I started with talking about the first thing to do when you want to employ help. You basically have to go through um you have to go through probably an agency, and I would even suggest a referral, because you don't just want to employ anybody who you're not sure of where the person is coming from, where the person has been, the person's attitude to work, and all those, so very important information that you'd basically need to know if you want to live with anybody in your home. So that's the first thing to do. you know go through an agency, and not just searching online for an agency. You need to be sure of who you're even reaching out to, because this has to do with your privacy, you bringing in a stranger to live with you. So you do not want to make any mistake. You do not want to make any mistake. Now, mistakes could happen. Are you there, or you needed to go off?
I'm here.
Are
I'm
you
here.
there, Mora?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. So mistakes could happen, but at least we'll try our best not to make mistakes at the very beginning. Now, the next important thing to do is to ensure that before you get a help to live with you, you are doing some very important tests, running some important tests, because you do not want to get infected by any communicable disease, transmitted, easily transmitted disease, like number one, I do, and I still do, hepatitis B, HIV, and some people do pregnancy tests so that you know if you're bringing someone who is pregnant to your home. You don't want to bring a pregnant woman to your home. And then you also do not want to employ someone who has tuberculosis. Well, some people would also do COVID-19. It depends on you. So these are the most important things to do at the beginning, when you're about to employ a help to live with you. Now, like I said, something that is so important that a lot of people tend to forget, because desperation makes us be in a haste that we do not see the important things at the early stage of employing a help in our home. You are so tired and frustrated, and you need to employ someone. And then because of that, you don't understand that you don't have to be in a haste, because you need to carry out this important test.
Yeah.
You need to carry out this important, you need to also pray, because you don't just want to bring in anybody to your house. Thank you for joining us, Aria Bills. Thank you, Collins. Thank you, everyone who's been joining. We're so grateful to have you join in and leave. So, you basically do not want to, go through any form of mistakes. Now, like I said earlier before you joined us, that mistakes could happen. Mistakes happen. You could actually still get the wrong person even after prayerfully seeking for God's help, even after doing all the best you could, like going through an agency that is you through a referral, background checks, finding out where the person was working before, who the person lived with, why did they leave. These are important questions that we all need to ask before bringing people into our homes. And peradventure, you bring somebody that is not who you think the person is, like a thief. What do? I have an example. At least I know someone who stole a lot of things. She came with a school bag, and by the time she had done almost a month or more, she had a Ghana must go full of stuff. And
Wow.
this was extremely terrible, because how did we discover that she was a thief? Okay, the first time was that my phone was missing for 24 hours. We couldn't find my phone. We called and called and called, and my phone was ringing. And well, it wasn't a smartphone, so that's why I knew that it was someone in the house that was with the phone. It would ring, then it would go up. We checked everywhere. I'm like, then the next day, we didn't still find my phone. My husband called my phone like 20 something times. Everybody was calling, and we couldn't find this phone. Shockingly, the next day, I just stepped to a part where the children's toys were, and I just saw my phone there, and I'm like, this phone wasn't there yesterday,
Yeah.
so how come it's there today? And when I took up the phone, I saw that somebody had called new numbers. I said, why would this person, who would be using my phone? Because there was credit.
Yeah.
I decided to call one of the numbers back. I said, hello, I saw your number on my phone. How did you call? Who called you, and why is your number here? It wasn't me. And the person now mentioned a name, and the name was my sister's house help. And I'm like, and I went to ask, when I got home from work, because I called all the numbers that she had called. After I found my phone, I went to work, then came back, and I went to ask her, did you take my phone? She still said no. And I'm like, you know what I did? I just took the phone, I called her friend, and the person said, why are you lying? You called me. Can you imagine?
That's
So
serious.
that's what I'm saying. So peradventure, you now end up with, because now she was even brought in by a trusted agent. So he didn't even send her to steal. So that's why we need to understand that even in this journey of trying to be settled, trying to get a help, there can still be errors. So this person went about, she even stole clothes from someone that we don't even know, because we didn't know the owner of the skirt till tomorrow. She carried stuff, different things. She carried napkin, carried pants, terrible thief. And guess what she did? She even, just because she didn't want us to catch her, she ended up wearing double pants. Have you ever seen someone wearing double panties before? Because and you're not, it's not like she was on her period. So that's what I'm saying, that peradventure, even when you do all you could, there's still a tendency that you might get or run into this sort of help. So the prayer, the prayer and the prayer, and we'll keep praying that God will not let us run into such people. And then even if we run into them, they will not be harmful to us. Yes. So we need to understand that this could happen. And when it happens, what would you do? How would you react to it? So thank God that they were able to catch this particular person who was it. But like I said, she wasn't working with the agent. She wasn't stealing on the order of the agent. She was just a thief. So we must ensure that we prayerfully, you know, employ helps, and then even emotionally, you have to be emotionally intelligent when it comes to helps, even stealing from us. We must be emotionally intelligent because the helps could, if you are not emotionally intelligent, they could be detrimental to you. So I know I've said, is there
Yeah.
anything you would like to add, Mora? Is there anything you'd like to add? Have you had any
I personally
experience?
feel, well,
Okay.
growing up, my mom has had so many help because I'm young, so so
I
my mom
know,
has
I
had,
understand.
yeah, she has had so many people help her, and you know, some of them can just be good, and some of them can be something else. But and most of them, they tell a lot of lies
Yeah.
about their background, you know. So I feel like one of the things to properly check before getting help is their background, even down to where they are coming from. Why did you leave the place you left? If possible, to even speak to the person that they were working with before, because they come with this. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Hey, can you hear me? Okay. They come with this pitiful face and pitiful oh, I'm struggling, I need help, all this, you know, emotional blackmail. But the moment you get them into your space, hey, they can be detrimental to your kids, even to you
Yes.
yourself, and some of them get so I had an experience because my mom recently just let go one of her help, and I had to speak to her. This woman, every single time she's sick, she's always sick. You are here to work, and then and my mom is this caring person, so she would lie down, she would cover herself, she would be shaking, she say she's sick. So my mom would say, go and give her tea, go and give her bread, and then me, I start to do the work, and I'm like,
Yes. So
just pay me her money, let me be working.
so you have some very lazy helps like that.
Yeah, she's always sick every single time, and she doesn't
Imagine.
even work every time. My mom told her to just be working like 4 times in a week, then other days she should just, rest. But those 4 times, that's when she displays sickness, So the medical aspect too, is very necessary. And to observe, I feel
Yeah.
like people should not get carried away by, oh, I need help, I need help.
Desperation,
Yes,
right? Yes.
desperation, like I need help. For the first 1 month of the help coming, you should observe, like, you should not just get too familiar with them and just be giving them tasks, but actually observe their attitude, even their spirituality,
Of
because
course.
some help come to cause spiritual
You get.
dramas. My mom was
Yes.
telling me of a story when we were so young, and she had the help that every night when she sleeps and my mom goes to her room to check her, she would sleep and put her leg on the wall, you know,
Mm.
and sleep upside down. It was just very funny, and it was so obvious that this person is possessed,
Yeah,
you know.
not normal.
Don't Yes, and my mom knew that she needed to go because she had kids, toddlers. Don't get carried away by desperation that you just want your things done and you're in the expense of your children, in the expense of your husband, or in the expense of even
Exactly.
yourself. You know, you should always be observant because getting someone into your family is a very, very sensitive
Yeah, getting
thing.
a stranger into your private
Yeah,
life.
it's
That's why you
very
should
sensitive.
be very sensitive.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah,
not
so thank you
everybody is
for
fortunate.
you get so thank you for even sharing that because I
Mm-hmm.
had two helps that did not like to join us for family devotion. The last one I had was last year. She used to come before, all of a sudden she stopped coming. And I'm like, we'll call her. I'll send my 5-year-old to her. She will not come. Then when
Wow.
in short, even my husband will go there to call her. She will not come. So I noticed that it was now recurrent. So you know what? I just left her. So when I reported to my mom and even the person that helped us get her was like, why would someone living with you not like to pray with you? That is spiritually not
Mm-hmm.
okay. And I said,
Yeah.
well, I don't know what to do. I don't want. It's not like I want to be forcing someone to pray with me and all. But that's just the right thing to do. Someone living with me was grow with me spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
as because especially the fact that they are all younger than me. So why would I not want them to join at least to share the word and pray? So when she didn't come back this year, I was actually I did, the disorganization it caused for me wasn't good, but in a way I was actually happy because she was beginning to weigh off for me. Like you are living with someone who will not obey your instruction. You don't want that because when it comes to spiritual things,
Mm-hmm.
as a family, including the stranger living with
Mm-hmm.
you, must be part of it. Yes, and then I now got one again um, this year. That's like July. She just left, so that also will not come. I'll go to her room. Is when we are praying that she's making call, and she'll make calls for like 30 good minutes. Hmm. You can imagine the psychological effect on
Yeah.
me. Someone, I have stress. There are 3 children, and all toddlers, all 5 and below, and I'm running after them, and I have to run after someone that is above 20 again. So I'm like, so at a point, she will come today, she will not come. You call her, you send the other child to call her, she won't show up. So it's like, spiritually, I'm not comfortable living with people. So these are the things you should look out for. If you have lived with them for a while, they used to come to pray with you and they suddenly stop. Let them go. There's something not right with their spirit that even you should be able to see with your spiritual eyes. That, okay, I don't think this person is normal. Do you get? Yeah, it's time for devotion, and that's when you're talking on the phone for 30 good minutes. And even when they end the call, they don't still show up. You don't want to live with people like that.
Like that.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Can
So
I
like
say
you mentioned something like
something?
yes, yes.
So I also feel like when you want to get help, you should you yourself define the kind of help that you want. Come to terms with defining the things that the help is going to do in your house. It's something that I have to sit my mom down because she recently just let go of that her sick help. And I had to sit her down and tell her, what kind of help do you want? Because you have help, you are paying her money, you know, I even told her that, okay, you don't need help. Don't worry. I'll be doing the work till I go back to school, just not for her to waste money. So I told her, define what kind of help do you want? And then she said, oh, she wants someone that will be working, somebody that will not be sleeping. Do you want to be giving her food? How many times do you want to be giving her food? All those kind of things. Is she going to be joining devotions? Is she going to be going to the market? What are the things she will be doing? What are her boundaries? Like just highlighting the boundaries. So I had to tell my mom to tell me all of those things. So we have a new help now, and I try my best my mom observe those boundaries, because my mom is a very nice person. You know, is your help? Are you going to be feeding your help? If you are going to feed her, not like the old help, she would come, she would just enter the kitchen, she would say, "Where is food?" She's hungry, she's tired, she would just be complaining. And I'm like, she's older than me, so I can't say much. I'll just look at my mom and she's like, "Let's just give her food." I'm like, no,
I
you're paying her. Is it part of our money, or is not part of our money? This is not wickedness. This is just, you know, setting standards. And I told her that one of the boundaries will be that any day she doesn't work, let her know that it to be deducted from her salary. I used to work somewhere, not as help. I used to work as a virtual assistant. And any day I don't go to the office, the woman deducts 1,000 naira from my salary. So there's this
hmm,
consciousness in my head that I must go to office. Even days that I'm sick, I go, because deducting 1,000, how much is the salary that they're removing 1,000 naira from me? you know. So I told her that define the boundaries. Any day she doesn't work, if she's supposed to work, let's imagine 10 times in a month, and once she's the only time she's permitted not to work 10 times, maybe 9 times, 9/10. But once it's entering
okay,
5/10, there should be consequences attached,
exactly,
because you can't be paying her full money and she's not doing her job. So down to
exactly.
even the relational thing, even down to taking care of the kids. Some help. I heard a story about, I think it's not even a story, I saw it online, that one help gave the child sleeping drug just because the child was disturbing. You know, down to your children, define the boundaries. This is it, this is it, this is it. You are
Exactly.
not to hit my child, you know, you are not to hit my child. If my child does wrong, this is how to correct. You let me know,
Exactly.
or if they are permitted to hit, whatever you're comfortable with, just discussing it with them, letting them know, and being strict about it, because getting help, when they get too comfortable, they just start to do what they like, you know.
Exactly.
So as much as you're going to make them comfortable, those boundaries should be there. I feel like there can be comfort, and but those boundaries are well defined, you know.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah,
really feel.
you're very right. So like I like this point that you brought out. Is a lot of people do not like me, maybe because of constant changing. I get tired. So
Mm-hmm.
and when I mean tired, it's like I've already taught this one everything. This one already knows my house, already knows how to use the washing machine, already knows where this is kept, this is done, how this is done. So then that person
Mm-hmm.
suddenly goes and I'm like, how will I start all over again? So
Ah,
the problem of starting again is just like when you're starting a relationship again, you're like afraid and all. So I
yeah.
would have that fright, I would have fear, I would,
Mm-hmm.
I would be so, there's this word I want to use. So it's like the fear of starting all over again.
All
So
over
I just tend to
again.
stay quiet, yes, because
Yeah.
there's this kind of panic attack I'm going through. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, how do I start teaching all over again? I have to start from the scratch. So because of that, I tend to keep quiet at first. And
No.
then the person begins to make a lot of mistakes. So I have
Yeah.
picked it, setting your boundaries is so important
Yeah.
that because
Boundaries
so
are
that's what I'm saying
so
that
important.
yeah, so like now I don't leave my children with any help. I've never done so since I started having children. So now the twins are 2 years old. I've never
You
left. So
have
my mom must always be with them.
twins.
Yes. So I will leave them with my mom must be present. They don't do even these ones I've had like this year, none of them makes my baby's food. None of them. It was only the elderly
Yeah.
woman I had when I had the twins that was able to make the milk. But apart from her, no other person.
Mm-hmm.
I've not allowed anybody make their food. I don't leave them with help,
Mm-hmm.
like I'll say only the help and the three of them. No, because I know
Mm-hmm.
that they can do and undo. So
And
I must always
undo.
make sure that I take. So that's another thing. I know some women might not have this kind of, you know, situation, like some of them have their mothers are late or their mothers
Yeah.
stay far away. Like there's some people that their mothers are living in other states. They
Mhm.
might not be, as privileged as I am to have my mom not staying too far from me
Yeah.
here in Lagos. So I think if you have that kind of situation, I would even prefer a daycare than keeping with help. I'm serious. I would
Yeah.
prefer, because in a school there are many children, but when it's one person, I've seen videos of help slapping children,
Yeah.
climbing on them. So if
Yeah.
you know that you want to try it, make sure that there's a camera or something, and then the
Mhm.
help doesn't know. So you just have to be very
Yeah.
careful, extreme. That's why I said even prayerfully. When you pray, God can even make that help stop coming to pray with you, so that you know that the help
Yeah.
is not okay spiritually. Then liars, you cannot keep a liar in your house, even if the
You
person is
can't.
not a thief. You know why? Because the lie can even move to your children. I'm telling you, you have to
Mhm.
be careful who you are living with, because like I had one that was this one is, I used to tell her that she has PhD in lie. She she would, like, you send her to buy something, you won't see her for 45 minutes. So there's nothing she can, she tells lies. So so I was like, I'm tired of this girl. And God just made a way for me that she chased herself by herself. She said she wanted to go. When it was that time for her to go, she didn't want to go again. But I made sure that she left my house. And thank God she's an old story. And even the person that brought her was very sorry, because she knows that that person is like a relation that has also worked with us 6 years ago.
Mhm.
So this is what I was talking about. Make sure that you have someone that can vouch for the person. The only help that we didn't have someone that could vouch for the person. That person, thank God, the only thing the person would have done was to burn down my house. But thank God that God rescued us at the middle stage of the fire, because she was distracted. She did not put on the gas well, and my kitchen window just started burning.
Funny.
And we didn't
Wow.
even know, I didn't know that I left one of the twins she didn't even help us carry one of the babies out of the house when the fire was raging. She just ran and saved herself and her phone. Why me? I left my phones in the room.
That's
So I
serious.
used her phone to call my mom to come and help, to call someone to bring fire extinguisher, because my husband was not around. But God saved us, that as we were running helter skelter, and we even forgot the baby and the elder sister in the room. My brother-in-law was there. I was able to run and catch those two children that we left in the room, while I was just holding one baby, and forgot that the others were inside. So God knows how to rescue us. So after that episode, I just had to let her go. She tried a lot for my baby, because when the twins, she took care of one of the twins from like when they were like 4 months. So she really helped her, no, but she was making a lot of mistakes, allowing the baby fall, different things. So I was tolerating until this fire accident, and God just told me, even before the fire, I heard God speak himself, like, she has
Yeah.
to go. I heard it clearly at 4 a.m. or one morning. This was like almost a week before the fire incident. So the fire incident just confirmed that she
Yeah.
needed to
She has
go.
to go.
So that's why we have to be sensitive, spiritually sensitive. My prayer is that for every one of us women, at some point in our life, like me, when I had my first baby, I didn't take a help. My mom was fine. One baby, we were able to
Yeah.
cope. My work is hybrid. I go 3 times a week, so I come back. Most of the time, I don't go every day. I don't stay till 4 p.m. So I come home before then. So I was always available for my first child. But with the twins, we needed someone. We couldn't cope anymore. There was so much work in the house and all of that, even till now. But it's picking up. So I just want to encourage women and mothers and families, is that for every stage, there's a phase
Yeah.
that you get through. So it's not the end of the world. I used to feel like, would this stress ever end? But I'm not saying it like that
Mm.
anymore. Right now,
Mhm.
right now they can lie down by themselves. I don't need to back anyone like that. Even if I
Mhm.
still back them, but not too much. So they can walk around, they can carry things. So even if it's triplets, even if it's whatever God gives you, He will strengthen you. If you
Yeah.
have a good job, you don't want to quit it, tell God about it. So I think the issues, why we have issues, that most of the time we don't go to God first.
Mm-hmm.
Go to God about everything. Oh Lord, I need a help. Me and my husband agreed that we don't want help before. But you take it to him now. Say, now that we have children that you blessed us with, because they are not a curse, they are a blessing from him to help us. And he will make a way for you. He will bring you people that would you would look back after many years and you still be associating with them. So that can happen. All you need to do is trust in God for every single thing. You need a help. Tell God. Don't think that this one is beyond him. If he could give you what you prayed for, why do you think that he cannot answer you when it comes to something that is so important as someone that will live with you? So that's the most important thing that every one of us must understand. So with this, I think we've almost come to the end of today's
Yeah. Can
conversation. Do
I
you have
can
anything
I
to
just
say?
say
Yes, yes, you have
more?
the floor to just drop your closing remarks.
Okay, just one more point that came to mind when hear me.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I
Okay.
can now. Yes, I can.
Is to also not just, some people when they get their help, they just believe that the help is going to function as the help. They don't sit to observe, especially children especially people that have children, right?
Yeah,
So I feel like for the first few months of getting help, you should really observe, and not only observe, but also observe your children, for people that have children, your children's countenance towards the
that
help.
person.
Because,
Right.
there are times I remember when I was young, there are some of my mom's help that I hated, but she never saw it. And now that I'm grown, that I'm able to speak and express myself, I tell her that I don't like this person, and she asks why, and I tell
Exactly. So you need to take a cue, right, from your children. Don't just believe that the child is acting up. So that's another thing I do. Like my twin son didn't accept almost all the helps. And it's not like they are not okay, but because he was used to myself and my mom. But my twin daughter, I
her,
had to, make her understand that, we need an extra hand. So as much as she
spirit
will still cry
really
for
connects.
me,
Yeah,
yeah, so as much as she will still cry for me and all, she will not have a choice since they will just back her and all.
yeah,
So I would always still stay with them most of the time. During the day I'm with them, at night I'm with them. It's just maybe times that I'm stressed out that somebody will need to hold them for me, and that's not too long. They wouldn't be too far from my reach. So those are the things you need to be on guard. You
yeah. Always
understand? You need to be
ask
on guard.
feedback from your children.
Yes,
Like it may not even be a serious. Just ask, what do you think about the help? Like after 1 month, do you like her?
exactly.
Those things,
Yeah,
and
so
it
my
is very
5 year old
essential
is
for
very
parents.
outspoken.
Yeah,
My 5 year old is like outspoken. She would say, I like this help. I hope she will not go
yeah.
away. So she says
Mhm.
that sometimes. The babies are different. They will just call names, but
Yeah.
they don't express themselves yet. They're just two. So they also I listen to her and she'll tell you, I like this one more, I don't like this one. She does that and
Yeah.
I just look at her and laugh about it.
Mhm.
So which is good because you need,
Yes.
like you said, mothers, parents, you need to take a cue from your children.
Yeah. Feedback.
You need to take a cue. So that this topic is actually very interesting. Maybe we
Yeah.
would do part two
It is.
and sort for more information, yes,
Mhm.
that we could share with families, so that we
Mhm.
don't have to tell stories of, like, people should watch this video. There's some things I said from the beginning that a lot of people might not even be. I'll hear people say, I don't do tests for my help. Why won't you? If you said because there are no children, who said you don't need to even know the person's status? Or you
like
understand?
like when you spoke about hepatitis B, just spoon, just saliva. Even
Yes,
there are some disease that can be contacted with sweat. Please do test.
exactly. So but people
Do
don't
test.
know
So,
this. They
they don't.
don't. So a lot of people ignore because I'm sorry to say, but I think in this part of the world we're just really careless. So that's why I'm saying that maybe we'll talk
Hmm.
about this more. We'll
Yeah.
have a part two. I'll note it down. We'll have a part two, and we would really talk about why people need to check all of this. Like I said, mistakes are bound to happen,
Happen.
errors are bound to happen,
Mm-hmm.
people are about to change. So, but how we
Yeah.
react to these changes is what
The
will,
foundation,
will
even the foundation of every
exactly.
relationship matters.
Exactly. Yeah, so
Mm.
this would affect us tomorrow and affect our homes too. But by the grace of God, there won't be any mistakes that would affect our homes negatively and permanently
Mm.
in Jesus' name when it
Amen.
has to do with health. So thank you,
Amen.
Maura, for joining us.
Thank you so
And it's really
much.
awesome to have us, speak about this topic today. And I want to thank everyone who listened and joined us. This is Wondiva Global Community for women, for spiritual growth, all around fitness, everything that has to do with you. And if you want to join us, send us a DM. You have someone reach out to you and tell you what to do further to be a part of this lovely and wonderful community. So till we meet again, same time next week, 5 p.m. on the 28th of October. Have a wonderful weekend and God bless you.
Bye.
Bye,
God
Nora.
bless you too. Bye.